What's up everyone, welcome back, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more timeless automotive stories that bring you closer to the most elegant, luxurious, and rare machines ever created. Today we're stepping into a world of prestige, craftsmanship, and refinement as we take a deep look at the 1957 Bentley S1, an automobile that wasn't just built to transport its owner, but to represent status, elegance, and the pinnacle of post-war British luxury motoring. Now picture the scene, it's the late 1950s, the war years are behind us, optimism is returning, and for those who could afford the finest things in life, a Bentley wasn't just a car, it was a symbol of having arrived. The Bentley S1, launched in 1955 and continuing until 1959, embodied exactly that, and in 1957, this car was the definition of understated British nobility on wheels. Unlike many cars of the era that screamed for attention with chrome, heavy designs, the Bentley S1 whispered its authority. Its long, sweeping lines, the soft curve of its fenders, and the iconic Bentley grille projected confidence without excess. This wasn't about being flashy. This was about taste. It was about pulling up to a country estate, a private club in Mayfair, or the grand hotels of Monaco, and doing so with an elegance that made every head turn, yet without a single word being spoken. Underneath the bonnet, the Bentley S1 carried the 4.9-liter inline-six engine, a power plant that had already proven itself in earlier Bentleys and Rolls-Royces. While it may not sound outrageous by today's supercar standards, remember, this was never about raw speed or numbers. This was about the smoothest possible ride. This engine delivered torque with grace, carried the car effortlessly, and worked seamlessly with the 4-speed automatic transmission. You didn't race an S1, you glided in it. You didn't push it to the edge, you let it waft you from one destination to another in silence, wrapped in the knowledge that very few people in the world could afford to experience this level of motoring. Step inside, and the word luxury almost feels too small. Every surface was touched by hand, every detail crafted by artisans who treated the Bentley name as a badge of honor. The dashboard was polished walnut, gleaming with a warmth that only natural wood can provide. The seats were swathed in the finest Connolly leather, soft, supple, and rich with the unmistakable scent of exclusivity. Thick Wilton wool carpeting muffled every footstep, every sound. This was not just a car interior. This was a rolling lounge, an extension of a stately home, but one that moved silently across the English countryside or the boulevards of Paris. Now, think about this. In 1957, owning a Bentley S1 wasn't just about writing a check. This was bespoke luxury. Buyers often had their cars tailored to their exact specifications, with coach builders like H.J. Mulliner, James Young, or Park Ward shaping bodies by hand, creating unique examples that no two owners shared. Each Bentley S1 was essentially a one-off, a statement of individual taste. Today, when we talk about personalization in cars, we're often talking about colors, trims, and options. Back then, it was about master craftsmen literally shaping steel and wood to your wishes. That level of exclusivity is almost unimaginable now. On the road, the Bentley S1 was quiet, composed, and regal. The suspension was tuned for comfort above all else, and the car floated in a way that gave passengers the feeling of being cut off from the imperfections of the outside world. And yet, there was still that unmistakable Bentley DNA, the balance, the poise, the subtle reminder that if you did want to put your foot down, this car was more than capable of delivering. By 1957, Bentley had firmly positioned itself as the choice for those who wanted distinction without ostentation. Rolls-Royce, its sister brand, was often associated with overt displays of wealth. Bentley, on the other hand, was for those who appreciated discretion, who valued power that didn't need to shout. Driving or being driven in a Bentley S1 sent a message, but only to those who knew what they were looking at. It was a language of class, understood by the very few who shared that world. The Bentley S1 also represented a bridge between eras. It was the last Bentley to feature the legendary inline-six engine before the introduction of the V8 in 1959 with the S2. That makes the 1957 model not just a piece of luxury, but also a piece of history. A farewell to a power plant that had carried Bentley through some of its most formative years. Collectors today regard the S1 with immense respect. It's not just about the car itself, but the story it tells of mid-20th century luxury. To sit behind the wheel of a Bentley S1 is to travel back in time, to feel the craftsmanship, to hear the muted hum of that six-cylinder engine, and to understand that cars like this were built to last lifetimes. Many of them still run flawlessly today, more than 6 decades later, because when something is built with true attention to detail, it transcends time. The value of these cars continues to climb, not just financially, but emotionally. Enthusiasts and collectors seek them out, not for speed, not for flash, but for the experience they offer. The rare chance to savor motoring as it was meant to be savored slow, deliberate, elegant, and profoundly human. So when you see a 1957 Bentley S1 gliding by, remember you're not just looking at an old car. You're looking at a chapter of history, a masterpiece of craftsmanship, and a symbol of what it meant to truly live well in the post-war golden age. These cars were not built to be disposable, they were built to be cherished. And that's why, even now, the Bentley S1 remains a timeless expression of refinement. What's up, everyone? If you enjoyed this journey into the past and the story of the 1957 Bentley S1, make sure you hit that subscribe button. More stories, more legends, and more timeless machines are on the way, and you don't want to miss them. Until next time, keep driving with passion, and remember, some cars are just machines, but a Bentley is forever.